Hello everyone, currently Kevin here. There have been some major monetization changes and I thought it would be a good idea to talk about them here. Let's start with what we know right now and then I'll answer some questions you'll likely have and give my own thoughts on this. First of all, the game is coming to Steam and they're phasing out the launcher. You can still download and play from the launcher if you had an account before this, but new players will have to go through Steam. The game is also becoming a buy-to-play game. $45 or your regional equivalent as an entry price. This price will give you access to the game and also Vanessa, Dooley and Pig will be unlocked from the start. If you already have an account, you will not be able to play the game on Steam without purchasing the base game. This seems to be a logistics issue as Steam will only let you print 5,000 keys and then you have to ask Steam for a key who will then decide if they're going to give you more. Again, you're still able to use the launcher like before, so there's no real change there for most players. If you had an account before the 8th of August, then you will unlock Dooley, Pig and Mac for free at the start of the next season. This is if you don't have them unlocked already. They are also no longer time getting the expansions. Once they make items for a hero, everyone will have access to them as long as you own the hero. This is honestly a great change that makes the game a lot fairer for everyone. Price Pass will also be free, will no longer offer tier skips, will only contain cosmetics and they're removing subscriptions. On the flip side, you won't be able to buy heroes with gems anymore. Any new hero will instead cost $20, including Stell, who will be released at the start of the next season, which will be the upcoming Wednesday, 13th of August. They're also doing away with rank mode tickets. You will no longer have to pay to get into rank mode. Normal mode will be tweaked to give you less difficult ghosts when you're a newer player, and then they will ramp up the difficulty slowly. Normal mode will also start giving chests, and everyone gets 2, 4 or 6 chests instead of 1, 2 or 3. Lastly, they are abandoning the idea of a player-to-player marketplace. Any duplicates you will have will be turned into gems. Okay, so those were the changes. Now I know, like myself, you'll have some very serious questions, so let me try to answer some of them. There have been a lot of posts on Reddit and threads on the Discord that I followed in order to get the answers to these questions. Huge shout out to Toby on the Discord, who has been very open and engaging with the community and trying his best to answer everyone's questions. Starting off, why is the launch price so high? Well, Toby did say that they looked at a lower entry price, but that there were issues with that. After someone asked what issues, Toby replied, part of it is the actual numbers to keep the lights on. And later, I can't know the actual numbers until we see the numbers, but the motivations for pricing have not been to make tons of profit, just to keep the game running. This is really interesting to me. This means that the current model was definitely not working for them. Honestly, I can kind of understand why. After the monetization debacle at release and the corresponding backlash, they created a new system. The system was much better and much more generous than the old one, and probably a little too generous. While there was some pay to win, with the expansions being locked at the level 15 and 30 of the Battle Pass, you could just farm gems and get one of them for free every month. Reynad said the average user made about 2,000 gems a month, with subscribers 4 times that. And this is average. I earned about 4,000 per month as a free-to-play player, and I decided to get the subscription and farm hard for 1 month, and I got 20,000 in a single month. That is more than enough to buy any expansion and any hero for multiple months, even if I stopped earning gems entirely. That is just completely unsustainable. I am very disappointed that I can't buy Stell with gems since I bought the subscription specifically for that, but I am still happy to support the devs since, well, this game is by far my favorite game, and I really just want it to continue to exist. I do think they need to communicate things much better and not right before the launch of a season and a new hero. Because someone paying $10 for the subscription to get the gems for Stell and now having to pay $20 on top of that for something that they thought they could get with gems is gonna feel awful, and it's not a good way to treat your customers. Now overall, I am totally okay with a buy-to-play model. I am just a little concerned about the price point. I think new players will need an easy and painless entry point into the game. And $45 is a lot to ask for people for something they don't even know if they're gonna enjoy. This has been partially addressed by both Toby and Reynad, and they're thinking about some kind of single player mode, which they've been working on, and possibly making that part of the entry point, since it doesn't really have the same server and infrastructure costs. I do love this idea generally of a single player mode, but especially as a entry point for people like a demo or a trial mode that people can just jump in, install the game, get a feel for it, and then decide if they want to really buy the game or not. But that is not the reality right now, and I really hope they get the single player mode as soon as possible into the game, because I want the player base to grow. Another thing that I'm worried about is the only way to support the game seems to be from buying the new hero at $20 a pop. Assuming around 4 heroes per year, that's $80 per year, which, while a lot of money, is actually less than buying the subscription for 1 year. This means that people that would spend a lot would actually spend less money with this system. And besides buying gems directly, there is no way to spend more money on the game. I don't really see people spending tons of money on gems, as we are getting tons of gems from chests and duplicates that we already have and will get from chests later. And the conversion rates for money and gems don't seem to be that good anyway. So for a lot of people, there's just not anything to spend on. Now, people tend to talk a lot about free-to-play games and how they do their monetization, but most games I know have some form of payment that you basically can't get around. Path of Exile used to be, and probably still is, lauded as one of the most free-to-play friendly games out there. But you do basically have to buy stash tabs if you want to play the game normally. You need premium tabs to trade using their API. You will need more space to hold all of your crafting gear and items. I did the math once and came to about $20 to $25 for basically the bare minimum to play comfortably. And about $50 to play the game with most of the convenience like currency tabs and stuff like that. On top of that, they also sell a lot of MTX. So even the game that is lauded as one of the most free-to-play friendly still has things that you really kind of want to spend money on, or need to spend money on to play comfortably. And live service games do need to make money to keep the service running and to continue developing for new content. I really just hope that this monetization is enough. I love the Bazaar, it's one of my favorite games of all time. I'm just worried that it won't be enough and that they need to change the monetization again. Now, they also said they are going to keep releasing expansions for all the heroes and not just focus on new heroes. Of course, seeing is believing, but keeping the game interesting is very much in their interest, so I think we don't really have to worry too much about this. And an expansion is probably a fraction of the effort compared to a completely new hero with 100 cards, new monsters and events and stuff like that. Okay, it seems I was wrong. As I'm editing this, Reynad has confirmed that they're going to be spending more development time on heroes and less on item expansions. They're not going to do the monthly 10 item expansions, but old heroes should still be getting new items over time. This does mean that the card pools are going to stay quite low, which they already are, and it's pretty easy to force builds most of the time. And this season people have already gotten sick of seeing the same builds over and over again. Most of the complaints seem to be about that. So I really hope they reconsider and start increasing the card pool as fast as possible, because I really think that seeing the same builds month over month over month is going to be a real sticking point for people, and it's going to drive people away. Anyway, back to the video. Now, if they keep this monetization model, eventually you'll have a lot of heroes. So what are they going to do if you have a lot of heroes and you might be looking at $100 or $200 to get all of the heroes? Well, they said they're going to start bundling them to make it easier to get them and to avoid having players look at like a $100 price tag to get all of the content in the game. Which is great, but this is more like a long-term thing. We're not even close to something like that. As for rank being free, there have been concerns with people just re-rolling their starting option, and they said they are implementing systems to combat this. Most likely some sort of cooldown on your rank games if you concede too much. I do think this will be a problem, and they will have to implement some kind of system like this. And even though they eliminated the pay to win, making sure that everyone who has a hero has the same card pool, paying for heroes also introduces a different pay to win element if the purchasable heroes are stronger than the starter heroes. This does seem a little unavoidable, but so far they've done a pretty good job at balancing. This season, every single hero got to see play. Vanessa being the weakest, but still getting very decent results once people figured out what worked for her. Hopefully, this will continue. Lastly, I need to say something about their handling of criticism in the Discord and the subreddit. While I will not speak about most of the bans, as I'm sure there are plenty that are deserved, I have however seen that people get permanently banned from the Discord and the subreddit for very mild criticism, which I think is completely unacceptable. It's also completely counterproductive, and it leads people to quit or hate the game. Please do ban anyone who is being hateful, but just not the ones that are merely giving suggestions or giving constructive criticism. Community is everything for the indie game like this, one that relies on word of mouth and goodwill. These actions will only serve to sour the community to the game, and it will make people apathetic and unwilling to engage. So, what do you think of these changes? Do you think the price is too high? Are you going to be buying Stell when the new season launches? Let me know down below. I love having discussions about this stuff in the comments. Thanks for watching and see you in the next one.